on their books, you know. I'm gonna accept the charges. Oh, I can just imagine. I can just imagine. Let's go to the phone lines. Anonymous, you live on the air.
Hello, Wiley.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. How are you today?
Bless.
Going in.
Doing good. How you doing?
I don't know why I can't hear you. Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I'm calling in about the Cardi B and the Candace situation.
Yeah.
Now, for the people that be here all the time, I'm sure y'all can know I call in all the time. I'm a supporter of Cardi B. I love Cardi B. Yes, pro Cardi B. But for this situation, Candace made her look like a fool. Well, actually, Cardi made herself look like a fool. I don't think that she should be, because usually I'm with her when, you know, she's pushing for people to vote. But the things that she was posting on her page was a lie. When she had Angela Stanton picture and all the black people that was actually praying for Trump because of, you know, the things that he's doing is ruffling a lot of feathers. So they was actually praying for him, not bowing down for him. So I think that was wrong of her to do. Candace, I don't really like Candace Owens or whatever her name is. But on that topic, I agree with her 1,000%. 1,000%. Did you get that post I had sent you through the DM?
What post was that?
The one for Donald Trump.
You said a one for Donald Trump?
Yeah, the one where he denounced the KKK and actually called them evil people.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I did see that. Even if you had then I did see that. But both of them, like I said, got their ways that they need to work on. But go ahead.
Of course. Both of them are dirty. You know, it just depends on what side of dirt you want to be on. And I can understand, you know, why people might call Donald Trump dirty, but you know, back up in the day, up in the 90s, that's when he was building all those buildings up in New York, you know, the mob ran those. So you had to be dirty back up in them days. But do I think he got a good heart? Yes, I do think he has a good heart. I'm pro-Trump. Yes, I am. And I was with you when you was like, oh, you had voted for him for the preliminaries, but then when, you know, he got up in office, you know, he let you down. I'm sorry that he let you down, but now he's showing you the pushback that he was getting from these Democratic states. Let's just be honest. Now, you see, he's asking, hey, if you need my help, I'm here. I was sending the people, no, don't you do that. You know, you causing more damage, but yet they cities are getting burned down. And at the end of the day, they just push all this back on Donald Trump when he's literally saying, hey, I just told y'all that I'm going to help. And now people are saying too little, too late. How? If he's been trying to help from the beginning, but they didn't want him to help. And then, okay, so I know y'all call me a conspiracy theorist or whatever, but do you remember when that whole tweet, remember when the news media, which was just over the weekend, they were stating how Trump had called the military, those names or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, let me backtrack. The day before that happened, Trump had put out a tweet saying the swamp will be drained within the next 30 to 60 days. I don't know if y'all seen that tweet. Now, meaning, you remember back in 2019 when those indictments had went out towards the end of 2019, and then a lot of people started stepping down. The CEOs and people was wondering why are they stepping down? Why are they stepping down? Well, this is the reason why they were stepping down, because when it's time for them to go to Guantanamo Bay, they didn't want it to be as big as it would if they would still be the CEO. So I think that it's funny The day before, when Trump put out that tweet saying the swamp will be drained, the very next day, now they came up with this fake news of him criticizing the military veterans and stuff like that. But the person that they said that he criticized actually did a post. I don't know why that one is not as viral as the other one. And instead of him just doing a post and just voice or just typing, he went on as himself, did a video showing himself so people can knew it was him. And he said, I don't know why y'all are lying on me. I don't know why y'all making me the face of this. But Trump did not say that. So he even denounced the lies that they are trying to say. And a lot of people don't know that because it's not as viral as them lying saying that, anyway,
All right.
or whatever.
Well,
now, I can understand, the hate, and I think that it's sad that people have the amount of hate in their hearts that they do, because if they looked at things as open-minded, and not so much hate, then it will be a better world. It would be a better place. And also, I think, because a lot of people are saying racism, and all this other kind of crap. But at the end of the day, a lot of, blacks and, let's be honest, racist. It is what it is. A lot, if you think about it, because with the BLM, the Antifa, they are out here saying they are peacefully protesting, but they are destroying their own cities. Actually, someone else's cities because they travel in from other places. But they are destroying these people's cities only to make one person look bad. I don't know, did that make sense to you or no?
I hear you. I hear you. I don't always agree because I'm more so looking at the locals and looking at how Chicago is and et cetera like that. But this is my last one because I'm going to go to this next caller because we got two other callers. Whoever you support, that's who y'all support. I'm more so looking at the current condition of the area that I grew up in, also looking at the poor areas in Texas. Poor people are suffering, and I'm looking for an administration, whoever it may be, Trump or Biden. What are you going to do to help poor people to be able to get good quality jobs, to be able to live in good quality homes, and to get the homeless off the street? So I'm more so looking at how are you going to treat poor people and also middle class and to help rebuild middle class. But what are you going to do for poor people? And so that's more so I'm looking at, especially.
Trump had already signed the bill, but Trump had already signed the bill that actually rebuilt the lower class communities, Baltimore. He literally signed out to rebuild those communities. So I'm confused.
Yeah, because Baltimore is still run down.
People to help, or do y'all not
exactly.
Want people to help?
And if that's the case, then these areas should not be looking the way that it's looking in Baltimore as well in Chicago, because a Republican is actually running in Baltimore, in West Baltimore, I believe, and it is run down. And it's been that way for decades, even before Trump even got into office. So I'm not going to just blame Trump all over, but because this is before Trump, this was under Obama administration. I'll even go back to Clinton or whomever. We need investments in these poor Black and brown areas. And we just don't need lip service, because now we need investments instead of lip service. But thank you, sister. I'm going to go to these next two callers.
Hold on, Wiley. Before you give me a phone, let me just say something. I think that the housing is actually hurting Black people. I think that the welfare is hurting Black people. And I think that, if anything, we need to get our people off of those type of things, or have it to where you can only be on it for a certain amount of time, and that's to better yourself, to do better. Because as long, the way I think about it is, let's just say, okay, let me just put this out here. If people are always dependent on the government, food stamp, housing, everything, medical, every single thing, what happens one day if the government just snatch it? Then then what will happen?
Well,
that's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm gonna speak on this. I'm gonna speak on this piece, and I'm gonna go to these next three callers. even when it comes to government assistance. I don't speak against it because wealthy people, and they call it subsidies. So we should not just target poor people because you need food stamps, you need welfare because now people are losing their jobs, and if you lost your job, you need how you're going to eat, how you're going to feed your families. I think that it needs to be for those type cases, not for you to be dependent upon those programs. But even so, even if you're dependent on food stamps, I shouldn't criticize you so much when the wealthy, hold on, when the wealthy depends upon, hold on one second, when the wealthy depends upon these subsidies, when these programs, even when you go back to Trump father and how he was able to get these government contracts and get it from the government to build these homes up, and he get these low interest loans, right? That's a subsidy. That's part of welfare to help those developers. But we're not criticizing them for taking advantage of these government programs. But when we talk about government programs, we always go towards wealthy. We always go towards the poor folks on food stamps. But we rarely ever go toward these government subsidies programs that are there to keep the wealthy wealthy, keep the rich rich. We never, hardly ever bring that up.
No. I have to disagree with you. Like, I can understand for people with disabilities, yes, if it's a disability, then yes. But if you have women out here or men out here that's on housing, on food stamps, they do not work, comfortably just living at home, just doing drugs and stuff like that. No, that should not be happening because a lot of people's tax dollars are basically condoning it. And that's not right. That's all I'm saying. While you have people out here that's struggling, that have jobs, trying to get to the next level, but the government is kicking them off of those things just because they have
all right,
jobs.
I'm going to go to these next three.
People that don't have any.
Okay. Thank you, sister. I'm going to go to these next three callers. All right. I'm going to go to the next caller. 4429, caller, you on the air.
Okay, I want to, good morning, Wiley.
Good morning.
Great to have you back. Well, you never really left. You was working. But I want to say to this lady that keep calling me she a Trump supporter. Number one, do she recognize the signs of mental illness? And when you do not take care of your mental illness, what happens? That you cross over into insanity, okay? Do she recognize that this man got some kind of learning disability? He only can use like 4 or 5 different adjectives, okay? Do she condone him building a wall to keep people out of this country? I understand that you have to have border control, but Obama had border control. They was going in and getting people out that were illegal, but he wasn't making it a hate, okay? Do she realize that the Secretary of Education that he put in office was worse, made education worse? She came from Michigan. Look up her records. She was trying to tear the city schools down and not fund them. And her family owned some type of educational thing. Do she understand that Black Lives Matter is not racism? Black Lives Matter was born out of police brutality. It don't have nothing to do with racism. Black Lives Matter is an organization that is against police brutality. That is not racism. Do she know what the definition of racism is? Do she understand that welfare has been reformed? That you cannot just stay on welfare. They make you go and get
a job,
training,
especially in Texas. Like when I got on food stamps, Blue Sky in Texas, I was on there for a very limited time. I lost my job, and they was like, you could be on there for a month, but you have to be out looking for a job to keep it. But I had got another job, so it's not just like it was. I can speak for it in Texas, and I got it. But it's like rules that they give you.
The welfare system through the Clinton administration, and they changed the program, and now she have a master's of education. She did not stay on there. Do she understand that most people that's on welfare is not Black, and they vote against their own interests? Do she know that Trump is trying to stop health care that Obama had? Nothing is perfect, but at least he put some kind of health care in place. Do she understand that it's a real virus out there that's killing people and he has done nothing about it? And he got rid of the top infectious disease scientist in the world that has an MD and PhD. He is not part of no deep state. Dr. Fauci been doing research for years. I used to work at NIH. Stop the foolishness. You can be a Republican, you can be a Democrat, you can be independent, you can be dog, cat, mouse. But stop the foolishness. Now, do she want Trump to come and visit her? God forbid, if somebody in her family is shot in the back 7 times, somebody put their knee on their neck, okay, or smother them to death. Do she want Trump to come and see her? Because he's not. He's going to go see the other people that's in there when the people are marching, that's down there running people over and shooting at them.
All right.
People need to stop talking about something that they don't even know about. Then make it make sense. She don't know nothing about the welfare system because obviously, thank God, if she ain't had to be on it. Because if she was on it, she knew that she cannot stay on it.
Every time I've been on it, and when I moved to Texas, it was like a month, and I've always had a job. But I thank God that those serve, because I used to think like that, get off that welfare. But when I had to get on it, I was like, okay, it's there for people that fall on hard times, and it's a program to assist you. It's not a program for you to be dependent on it, right? But I thank God that it's there. And I never criticize the people that's even on it. Because now, because you have wealthy people that get subsidies, and look at the farmers, they're getting some parts of, low interest rate loans or getting free money. And that's part of welfare because of what was going on with the tariffs and with China and stuff. And it pretty much, hurt the farming community, the farming industry. So the Trump administration had to pretty much give farmers welfare for them to survive.
Right.
But no one is calling that out.
Say they are pro-Trump.
Right.
Do they understand what narcissism is? Not just people saying, oh, somebody I dated, they a narcissist. I'm talking about a true narcissist, sociopath. Do they really know what it is? Go read about it. Go talk to a psychiatrist or psychologist that can explain it to you. Why you pro-Trump? Trump don't give a goddamn about you. He just threw the postmaster under the bus. His lawyer went to jail. Now he writing a book about he don't care about nobody but himself. Why they out here talking about they pro-Trump? Now I can see if it was okay, you had Reagan or somebody like that, but and you a Republican, fine, be a Republican. But this is past political affiliation. You got somebody that's in office, insane, who wants this to be a dictatorship. And if he get out of office, it's gonna be hell to get him out the White House.
It ain't gonna be hell. They're gonna easily escort him out of there.
He think he Kim Jong-un. He think he like the Russia dictatorship. That's what he think. He don't listen to none of his expert advisors. He don't listen to nobody. That's why they have so much turnaround. Nobody can stay with him. Even the Fox people said how crazy he was. I don't like to use the word crazy, but how insane he is. He got multiple issues.
All right. I feel you on that.
And we shouldn't even have all these political affiliations. What we should have is humanity for one another.
Thank you so much for calling in. This was great.
Okay.
Bye-bye. The number is 646-716-8447. We're going to go to the next caller, 2041. Caller, you on the air.
Hi, Wiley. How are you doing?
All right.
I'm glad you enjoyed your trip to Chicago, that it was successful, and that you're back safely. That's basically all I wanted to say. I was smiling when you were telling the story about meeting with your grandmother and your niece. I know how important family is, and I also know how it feels to be isolated from family, be it distance and all. And that's just it, because I'm going to talk about political stuff because I'm currently working and I can't do that anyway. I'm going to lose my job. I'm just happy for you. You did a good job on those interviews that you presented. Just happy for you and proud of you. And I want you to continue taking care of yourself, okay?
Amen. Thank you, sister.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 1922, call you on the air. 1922.
Hello, Wiley. This is Miss T. How you doing?
All right, Miss T, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm so glad you enjoyed your trip in Chicago, even though I was like trolling you all those weekends. I'm like, where's Wiley? Oh my God, where's Wiley?
I was very active on Patreon. Right, I was very active over there. I was very active on Patreon about it, but publicly I wasn't. But yeah, I was in Chicago.
Yeah, well, when I tried to do Patreon, it didn't work for me.
Okay.
I don't know. It was one night when it was like some me music was playing, and after that night, I just was like, okay, this is not working for me.
Oh Lord.
Okay, so I'm gonna try Patreon again.
Yes, ma'am. And if you have any issues, just send me an email and I'll help you if you need help.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But go ahead.
So I have two subjects to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the first caller, who's a pro-Trump, I'm not even going to even make it a comment towards what she want to be. If that's what she is, that's what she is. You know what I'm saying? Me, I'm independent. I love my money. So if the Republicans want to make something that's going to help me benefit myself to be an entrepreneur, because that's what I am, I'm going to pick the best, for that. Democrats, it doesn't matter for me. But she made a statement that she think only people need to be on welfare are people that are disabled. In my understanding,
yes, ma'am. I
feel like Black people living in America is like being disabled. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely, we are allowed to get this welfare. Welfare was not formed for Black communities or poor people of the Black